And what do you know, y'all? Right after I make a video about my preference for black women, I've always had a preference for black women, we get an issue regarding a interracial marriage or a former marriage, right? Between Idina Menzel and Taye Diggs. Idina Menzel is a Broadway actress. She does a lot of singing, etc. People know her. Well, you can probably know her because your children was listening to her play the character of Elsa on Frozen. My daughter loves Frozen, and she loved it so much she named her dog Olaf after one of the characters, the snowman on Frozen, right? And so she was married to Taye Diggs for about 10 years. They have a child together. Except y'all know Taye, of course. Taye was most recently known for dating April Jones, the ex-girlfriend of Omarion and Omarion's children's mother, right? But Taye was the man back in the 90s, early 2000s. He was in all the black movies from How Stella Got Her Groove Back to The Wood to The Best Man, etc. Taye was the it dude in Black Hollywood, for sure. He was on the cover of all the black magazines, etc. Right? But yeah, her and Taye were together for 10 years, and she went in an interview and she blamed the black community and black media in particular for her marriage with Taye Diggs failing. Now, she didn't word it exactly like that, but I can read between the lines of what she was saying, right? She felt like when Taye left the cocoon of the theater world, because he went to the theater world and they met while, doing the Rent. Rent. It was the Broadway play Rent. They met during that time. They clicked and they got together and they got married or whatever, right? And so she felt like when Taye left the cocoon of the theater world, he had to deal with black media. And he had to deal with the pressure of, I'm paraphrasing, he had to deal with the pressure of explaining his marriage to a little white Jewish girl. Now, she said that part, a little white Jewish girl. He had to explain basically the pressure. He had to deal with the pressure of explaining his marriage, right? Because she feels like Taye disappointed certain black media members and certain segments of the black community for dating a little white Jewish girl. Now, I don't like the phrasing of a little white Jewish girl because that's victim verbiage, right? That's wordplay for like to victimize her or make her seem like she's a vulnerable population. And she's a grown woman, so she's not a little white Jewish girl. She's a grown woman. She's 52 years old right now. Her and Taye Diggs are the same age, so I didn't like that, right? But, this is the thing. So, I don't like, first of all, people you don't know can't mess up your marriage, ma'am. People you don't know can't mess up your marriage. Black women, black media, black folks was not in her marriage. They don't know her to mess her marriage up, right? I think their marriage fell for other reasons. They probably had a lot of different problems and arguing or whatever. I don't think it was based upon Taye not being with a black woman and him feeling the pressure of that, because y'all correct me if I'm wrong, before April Jones, and some of y'all I've heard people say April's half black eyes. She looked like she got some other stuff going on in her. But y'all know how it go. Most people, when they have people still look at them as black. Some of you all may differ. Y'all might have a differing opinion in that. Half don't make you black. Some people be like you just biracial. But hey, when you look black, you're black to me. Okay? She look like she got some other stuff in her. But April, black woman to me, right? Other than April Jones, did Taye date black women like that in the first place? So I don't know if he really felt that pressure in that way. Well, no, maybe he did, because I do remember Taye. I don't remember, but I thought I remember seeing something where Taye talked about him being beloved by a black female audience during that time period. And, when Taye's career, we stopped seeing Taye at the forefront of all these big time movies, and maybe it's because he went to the theater realm. I don't know if this is a real article or not. I should have did the research on that. From years back, I think he talked about basically black community or black women kind of like, it was looking a little funny that he was dating, it was looking funny to them that he was not dating a black woman. He was dating outside of the race, etc. But from what I know, I don't know if Taye ever really dated within the black community outside of April Jones, But this is the thing, okay, and I always tell people, you can love whoever you love. I don't have a problem with anybody that's doing that is in an interracial relationship, because I told y'all some of my closest friends, my closest family members are in interracial relationships. I don't despise them. I don't look down upon them. I don't do none of that. I just told y'all that, my main preference, the first, and I've seen beautiful women of all different races, and I acknowledge that it's some fine women that are not black women that are fine. But my preference, like my main, like I'm always going to, like, if I'm going to a room for whatever reason, and not for whatever reason, I know what it is. I'm always going to look at the black woman first, for the most part. Like, I'm going to look for the black woman first, and then, you know what I mean. That's just how I was set up. That's how I'm set up. That's how I'm made up because of where I grew up, etc. And then I told you about my ideals and beliefs about, marriage within the black family and, family structure within the black community, etc. I explained it in previous videos, but yeah. So I don't have any problem with anybody who dates outside of their race or whatever. Do what makes you happy. But I don't think it's fair that she's trying to blame black media for that. I think for real, I think Taye probably felt that within himself. I don't know. So he probably felt some little stuff too, because I do believe there were. Now, I'm going to say this. I'm a man, so I can't speak for women, but I know that Taye was a heartthrob during that time period. But after a while, I think they started. Women never like clamored for Taye Diggs like they did a Morris Chestnut. You know what I mean? Like, or Wesley Snipes in the 90s, or Denzel Washington, right? But women did like Taye. Black women was liking Taye when he was in the movies or whatever. And so I think he did maybe feel like, hey, I'm disappointing some black women. So I think he started to distance himself from black media during his marriage. I think he did. And to fix that, bro, like, that ain't black folks' fault, though. I think Taye distanced himself from it because I think he felt like he didn't want to face criticism or whatever, right? And listen, if you wanted her to be accepted, bro, just pull up with your woman. Bring her to the the proverbial, the figurative cookout, right? If you want to, right? Pull up with her. And then people going to have to accept it. But I do recognize that there were black women who looked at him funny style for dating a white woman. Yeah, they were. And I got to correct my sisters on that because a lot of sisters don't have that same type of animus for black women who date outside of their race. They'll clap it up for Serena Williams, EVE. They'll clap it up for Eve, Serena Williams, and all of that, and then get mad at black men for dating outside their race or whatever. So I don't like that. Y'all got to call a spade and keep it equal across the board. But I really don't think I think Taye did feel some insecurity about that. I think he felt like, oh man, I'm gonna be disappointing some black women if I don't be with a black woman. I think I think a lot of it was in his head though, because I think a lot of black women probably look like when they see Taye's personality, they probably expected him to be with a white woman. It's almost like Carlton Banks when he was talking about him being with a white woman. Bro, people expected Carlton to be with a white woman for the most part because not just from the character he played on television, from his personality and how he carries it. He didn't have the swagger of a regular inner city black man at all. His swagger and flavor was a little different, and I think he had a swagger that would be appealing to a white woman. Kind of like, and I hate to say this, but because I think he's an upstanding black man for sure. But y'all know Russell Wilson's swagger, especially when he first came out of college, it was more appealing to white women because I feel like that was what Russell was around more majority of his life, white people. And he didn't have a certain swagger or whatever to him. And I think that probably was a little appealing to a lot of white women. So it wasn't shocking to me that Russell Wilson was with a white woman when he first got into the league at all. It wasn't shocking at all. I expected it, to be honest with you, to be real. And I'm not saying that black women don't date guys who only date guys who are full of swagger, because they don't, right? Black people are not monolithic at all. But I'm just saying I wasn't shocked by it, right? But fast forward back to what I'm saying, because I'm going and talking in circles. I think this woman just feeling away because she saw her ex-husband leave her, or they parted ways, and then she saw him years later date a black woman, and the relationship was super high profile. He was all around her kids. They were doing all type of cute TikTok videos. They were all across all these different platforms, Shade Room, all these different black media platforms were like uplifting their relationship, pushing it to the forefront. And she says, why didn't they do that with me and Taye? Why didn't they, why didn't Taye show our love so openly? Why didn't he show our family moments like this? Why didn't he, seem so happy and giddy to be all on social media with our marriage? And I think she's feeling a way about it because ultimately her ex-husband left and then went with a woman who most would say is black, even if you want to say if April is biracial or whatever. But April she got a little twang with her, but she looked black, right? And so I think she looking like, was I not good enough? Or Taye just now he's doing it because he feels like he's invited back into the community now and he's just so gung-ho to do that. And, they're more accepting of his relationship with April than mine. Nah, I think, and Taye could have, to counteract that, he could have popped out with his woman and be all on social media with her too. You know what I mean? Like, because there's black men who date white women who just pulled up with him. Hell, Russell Simmons was dating Kimora Lee Simmons. Kimora ain't, I don't think Kimora mixed at all. Is she mixed? Y'all let me know. I might be wrong. I think Kimora just straight up Asian, but maybe she mixed, I don't know. But yeah, the Asian woman pulling up walking all with her, and she was all into hip hop. He pulling up with her, booed up with her, and all of that. And some people may feel like, well, Asian is not the same as a white girl or whatever. But nah, man, like if he would have just pulled up with her and all of that, I think it would have turned the tide, and people were like, okay, that's just Taye wife. It was what it was. But yeah, I think she's seeing that Taye was all booed up and all enamored with April, and now she's feeling away because, hey, my husband wasn't like that with me all out in the open. But that's Taye's fault, not the black community's fault, right? And y'all split up probably for other reasons that y'all couldn't be together, but it's not on black media. You know what I mean? Taye felt some type of way probably within his own self about his own insecurities. He probably wasn't confident in popping out with her around black folks, and that's his issue, not black people problem. You know what I mean? But black folks wasn't tripping on everybody went out with pitchforks that he was dating a white woman. People expected it for the most part.